What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Fridays. So, when we left off, we were here in the Milla Idol. That's what they're called, that I couldn't think of at all throughout the entirety of our last episode, in the Deliverance hideout. Now, we've still got a bit of the dungeon that we can explore, but I don't think I'm going to be going super in-depth with that. But before we go off and fight Desaix, there's some Sacred Springs we can use. So, one is attack and one is defense. Let's see, who needs attack the most right now? Maybe give Claire a couple points in attack, because Claire's attack isn't fantastic. Here, actually, let's give Claire just that 1 point for now, and then let's give Clive a few points in defense. Or actually, maybe we'll give, here, let's give Gray the other point in defense. Alright, and so with that, we just have to get out of the Deliverance hideout and go fight Desaix at Castle Zofia. And that'll basically be the plan for today's episode. Now, remember, last episode I said I might do some grinding. I think I'm going to skip that, maybe do some grinding before I get into Act 3 with Alm's Root. Just because I think we're probably strong enough for now. Although it will be difficult to...
Heading off, are we? Well, take care.
It'll be a bit difficult to get the dracoshield, but then it always is.
Am I coming with you? Well, I could, but I don't have to. How's about I just let you decide?
I hate how, for no reason, the cursor for that always starts on no. It's like, do you want to recruit a new unit to make to make it so you stand a better chance in fights to come? No, I'll pass. I'll make things harder on myself. Oh yeah, I forgot this scene
Zofia Castle
exists.
We must wrest the castle from the Chancellor's grasp. Lead us well, Alm. I'll do my best.
Alright. So, let's go. Actually, is it worth getting the dracoshield? I mean, it's a really powerful shield, but it's also a bit broken.
I wonder who built this throne. It is marvelously comfortable. Why did I let it be wasted on that incompetent fool Lima for so long? Soon, the Regalian Empire will finish its conquest of Valentia. And then I will rule from this throne as King of Zofia. But first, I must crush those worms in the rebel army. And worms they are. You squash the blasted things into the muck, yet still more take their place. And now they dare march on the castle? They will pay for this insult in blood. I must know what or who gave them this second wind.
Forgive me, Chancellor Desaix. We've captured a rebel in the forest. It's Fernand, sir.
What? But Fernand is Clive's right-hand man.
Why
would he be wandering the woods without a detachment?
March, prisoner! Unhand me! I have cleansed myself of those rebel scum.
What's this? Am I to believe you have left your precious deliverance?
Deliverance?
Yes, well, it seems you have a story to tell. My ears are yours, Sir Fernand. What? Myson's grandson?
Indeed. Clive has thrown all of our ideals at the feet of the unworthy. He's made the boy a figurehead just to leverage some decrepit hero's name. Well, I say, damn them all. There. You have my story. Now kill me and be done with it.
But this doesn't make sense. Myson didn't have any. Now I see this for what it is. Rodolph, you villainous dastard.
Huh?
Silence.
Okay, so...
When I address you, you'll know it.
So, Desaix hints there at one of the major, I suppose you could call it a plot twist, that comes up much later in the game. I'm not going to explain it right now, because for those of you who haven't played Echoes or haven't been following other playthroughs, you probably don't know what I'm referring to. But I am going to say this here. I have no idea how Desaix manages to figure out what happened basically instantly. Like, did he have knowledge of what Emperor Rodolph did? Or what? I truly have no idea. Yeah, to those of you who haven't played through Echoes or haven't watched another playthrough that has gotten to the end of the game yet, you won't understand why I'm saying this, but it'll make a lot more sense later, just like Desaix's comment there.
I have decided your fate, Fernand.
Well, that was quick.
Killing you would be wasteful. Come with me. I will introduce you to your new master. A master more befitting of your ideals.
New master? Wait! Explain yourself!
Nope, we need a cutscene to do that first. So this is where we meet Lord Berkut, and it's honestly a pretty cool cutscene in my opinion. Fernand's face, I never even noticed.
Zofia Castle. We're finally here.
Thanks to you, Alm. You should hold your head high as you command us on this great day.
It will be a great day, won't it?
That depends, actually, on how well I can manage to play this.
Today, Zofia's people reclaim her castle and her pride.
So this is the so-called deliverance. What a disheveled herd of clodhoppers.
I couldn't agree more. Find a comfortable seat, Lord Berkut. The Empire's finest general need not trouble himself with such rabble. You may watch from on high as my finest troops cut them down like wheat.
Finest troops, I just say.
Just take you up on
Then,
the offer.
who exactly is guarding your fortress that we'll get to in
I have
Act
no
3?
desire to see such bloodshed. War is horrible, and I will make no spectacle of it.
I jest, my dear.
Forgive me. I must take my leave.
Yes, of course. I trust the dracoshield I lent will add to your already considerable strength.
It is a fine gift, my lord. You honor me.
You, knight. Fernand, was it?
Yes, my lord.
You said the name of the Deliverance's new leader is Alm, correct? And that he is of common birth? There is no mistake in this.
None, my lord. Clive and the other fools believe he is Myson's grandson.
What nonsense. One is born either noble or common. This destiny cannot be changed. Has a sheep any hope of leading wolves? No.
Yes, exactly. Truer words were never spoken, Lord Berkut.
Still, I am surprised at Sir Clive. Tales of his exploits have spread as far as Vigel. How could so celebrated a leader make so amateur a mistake? The Deliverance has no future now. All of Zofia will soon belong to the Empire. Renea,
Yes, Lord Berkut?
I have a promise to make you, my dear. I will succeed His Majesty Rudolph and become the next Emperor. I shall rule over the Valentian continent as I was meant to.
Not
you
exactly.
shall be my Empress. Does this please you?
I do not have words.
It has begun. I pray this Alm fellow makes the battle at least halfway entertaining.
Oh, don't worry, Berkut. If you want entertainment, you'll get plenty of that when we eventually beat you several times. But that's for much later in the game. For now, we've got our work cut out for us. We've got quite a map here. So this is a nice use of the terrain and the map layout to help benefit the enemy. So in order for us to get to the enemy, we first have to work our way past these walls. Now, I'm not sure if in hard mode there are any additional soldiers over on this wall, but the main problem is the soldiers over here. The two actual soldiering units won't really be that much of an issue, because in order to get to them, they can't actually get to us, but these archers here are definitely going to be firing down on us if we try to get through this little area here. And then I think it's... yeah, this is Slayde's range, and I still haven't completely decided whether or not it's worth going for the dracoshield, just because it's very tedious to set up, and without warp, it might be very nearly impossible to set up properly. Or like, I'm sure there's a way, but I'd need to use swap, I think. Excuse me. But basically, if you kill Slayde, if you kill Slayde, Desaix retreats. If you kill Desaix, Slayde retreats. So, even though there are two bosses for this map, you only have to beat one. Now, just looking at their stats here, Slayde is not really that powerful, basically similar in strength to Clive, but Desaix is far stronger than any of our units, and he's got the dracoshield, which gives him defense and resistance plus 13, though it does have 10 weight, and it also gives him recovery. Not helping this is that he's a Baron class, which gives him the heavy armor skill, which makes him take half damage from bows, but frankly with, what would that be? 31 total defense, it won't matter in the slightest, because if we scroll over here and, where's our archers? Python's attack is 10, Tobin's is 12 because of his iron bow. Yeah, we can't do any damage to this guy besides the one damage thing that happens when you attack someone who has higher defense than you have attack. Yeah. So we don't have a sniper, which is going to make this a bit annoying. However, we do have Claire who can go and open up these doors for us.
Hear me, worms of the rebel army. You have done well to make it this far, but you have no hope of defeating me.
Not entirely
now,
true.
Slayde, take the cavalry and run down every last one of those wretches.
You know, if that were the case, you would think that the cavalry units there would actually attack you. But no, they kind of just stand there and wait for you to attack, or wait for you to get in their range. Now, we are definitely going to want to mark Slayde's range, because if you aggro Slayde just by getting in his range, it becomes nearly impossible to get the dracoshield. Just because, well, okay, there is a strategy that you can still get the dracoshield if you manage to wound Slayde significantly and mess with his AI a bit. But,
Just say the word.
I thought that was Silk for a second. But it's a bit more difficult than the strategy that I know to get the dracoshield, which I guess we'll try for it. If worse comes to worse, we could always send someone to go attack Slayde either way. But it looks like we've got a support between Silk and Faye here.
Hello, Faye. Oh, Silk. We seem to keep running into each other here on the battlefield.
Yes, well, I was hoping we could get to know each other better. There are so few of us women fighting alongside Sir Alm, after all. And there are many things I wish to talk about that aren't for the ears of men.
Well, I don't think that kind of friendship is for me. Sorry.
Huh?
I'd rather spend time near Alm than stand about gossiping. No offense. Anyway,
Yeah, Faye
good luck, I
is
guess.
interesting.
What in Milla's name just happened?
Yeah, that's a good question, Silk. Alright, so the enemy won't really do anything until we get in their range, so depending on how we move, that won't be a problem. Here, you might see me do that from time to time, just switching the perspective to make it easier to see. Because from the regular From the regular perspective, it can be a bit difficult to figure out exactly where each of the spaces are and where the danger area is, just based on how the map looks. And because you don't get the... Oop, that's the wrong button. Or because you don't get any option for pulling up the map on the bottom screen, unlike you did in Awakening, then you're basically forced to change the perspective from time to time if you want to get that better look at where the danger area is. Alright, I guess we'll have Alm cross that way, and we'll have the rest of our units work their way over here. Unfortunately, we don't have Warp on Silk because, again, I haven't really done any grinding and haven't been using her that much, which means we might need to take the long way in order to get in here. So let's have Silk head this way. We could probably have Tobin and Python go in and shoot at these archers a bit. Here, we'll just get some of our other units out of the way. We'll have Clive start working his way over this way. I think Clive should still have his steel lance, right? Yeah. And then we'll get Silk and Faye ready, because I'm pretty sure Tobin is about to take a bit of damage from that archer. And then we'll let them attack us. Yeah, so I don't remember exactly when I mentioned it, but I know I've mentioned it a couple times at least. This is perhaps one of the worst things about this chapter, in my opinion, is the use of terrain. Just because I don't understand why tile floor gives the avoid boost it does. It just makes no sense to me, and it's everywhere. All of this little section of the wall, tile. All of the area in here, tile. Except for like a little strip of plain around this intersection of tile. And then of course there's a bunch of supply tiles over here that units will retreat to heal to. Which just gives it a host of other problems. Alright, so with the archers moving, we're going to want to work our way around a bit carefully here. But Tobin, because of his iron bow, can attack from further away than these archers that don't have a bow, so we can do this. And probably miss this attack. Oh no, we actually hit. I'm surprised. I didn't expect Tobin to hit more than one attack that round. So because of that, no, he's actually not in danger. This is like what I said with the danger area. Like, sure, depending on where you've got your cursor and the camera, you can tell that the danger area cuts off there, but it's just difficult for me. It's like the perspective is all weird. Alright, so we'll have most of our other units work their way over. I'm gonna have Silk be the one to do the healing for now, because getting, getting Warp will be a lot more beneficial than Physic, I think. Here, I guess we could have Alm position himself so he can use the lightning sword to attack as well, but in the meantime, let's just have, we'll have Python start whittling away at this soldier. Hopefully I don't make him retreat to get healed. Oh, well, if I miss both attacks, that's not gonna happen. Hey, shouldn't I have Forsyth around here somewhere? Oh, shoot. I forgot to talk to Forsyth back in the Deliverance HQ. So we don't have him. That's not good. I thought I was missing a unit somewhere. Okay, so, looks like we're doing this without Forsyth. I mean, personally, I don't really like him that much as a unit most of the time anyway. Like, in my first run of the game, I just didn't find him very useful. Like, if you've got Lucas already trained up a bit, you don't really need Forsyth, in my opinion. So we'll just get what units we actually do have in position to fight. Yeah, don't worry, we will probably recruit Forsyth after this fight. Provided the game doesn't force me to skip over it. Alright, let's see here. I guess we'll use Recover on Silk just to get her health back. Even though, frankly, it's not really that necessary, considering it was like 1 point of damage. And then we'll let our archers fight their archers. Yeah, that's basically my strategy for this section of the area. Have my archers shoot at their archers until their archers are dead. That's basically the game plan. However, it looks like one of them is falling back to get healed, which is not nice. That's going to be a bit of a problem. But yeah, Python's shaky hit rate is one of the reasons why I don't really like using him that much. We can't quite get Claire over there. And even if we could, she'd get attacked by all this cavalry. I guess we'll let that soldier heal up. It's not that big of a deal. His stats aren't very good. We'll be able to kill him pretty easily again. So then, here, let's get some space in between my archers here. We'll have Tobin try to take out this archer. Nice, nice. I don't know what it is. I very rarely have good level ups on Tobin. I just never seem to have good luck with him. Come on, Python, you can hit something. Hey, he hit an attack. That's the first time in a round. Alright, I don't really like putting my healers in range of their archers, but I do want that EXP. Here, we'll make them be just out of range for now. I can always have have my archers get out of the danger area, then heal up. Plus, I think, yeah, one of them at the very least is going to, instead of attacking us, retreat to get healed. And actually, that's the only archer left. Okay, so I guess let's put Silk here, actually, hang on. If we put Tobin, nope, not quite long enough range. Yeah, no, we can't shoot, we can't hit that archer over there. However, we can have Tobin shoot at this soldier, and probably miss twice. Oh no, we hit. Can we hit again? Nope. Yeah, tile in this game is infuriating, because on maps like this, it's everywhere, and you really don't need the extra cut to your hit rate when it's already shaky. Like, Tobin's hit rate there, I think, was 58 or something like that. It would have only been 78 before, which, while substantially better, is still not good. I normally prefer to avoid having hit rates that low in, like, Fates, if you can avoid it, but in Echoes, you just can't. Your options in Echoes are basically attempt to hit attacks like that, or bring your magic user in. And depending on whose route it is and how far in the story you are, the second option there varies in viability pretty substantially. Okay, so we can't kill this soldier now without drawing all of those cavaliers and Slayde, but I think we can get Alm to kill this archer like that. Now, Alm is basically the key to how this strategy to get the dracoshield works. So, I'll explain it briefly here. So, the strategy that I know, and this is granted just one option, so the strategy I know is basically put Alm on this space here, and then that will be just in range of Desaix, while being obviously in range of Slayde, but you're mainly in range of Desaix, and Desaix will move first. So Desaix comes and attacks you there, and Alm's defense is good enough to survive that for a hit or two. You don't want to have him stand there the entire time, though, obviously. Desaix goes there, blocks Slayde's path. Then you have to shift back so that Desaix can still chase you, but still block Slayde's path. And from there you have to... From there, I basically try to pin him up against one of these walls, just so that there aren't as many units I need to put in the danger area, because you basically trap him and beat the heck out of him until he eventually dies. But of course, while you're doing this, you're fighting the game's poor hit rates, you're fighting against his 5 HP regen a turn, and you're hoping he doesn't kill you, because his attacks really, really hurt. Here, I'll just have my healers heal each other, because they do need some EXP. I'm probably not going to be able to get Physic or Warp this battle, which will be kind of unfortunate.
Thank you.
But we'll at least keep everyone topped off. We'll get our archers over there, because that's frankly where they're needed more. And then I guess we'll get Claire starting to head over in this way as well, because eventually we're going to want... I can't talk. We're going to want to have most of our units in this area, because that's eventually where we're going to try to get Desaix. So then, we just need to get everyone moving. Now that soldier is going to come at us and try to kill us in like a turn or two, just because he was able to heal there. That's unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter that much, because, as I've already said, his stats aren't very good, and it's not really that much of a concern if one of the weaker soldiers comes at us again. We've already taken out the archers, so we can move through this area much more safely. Let's see. Oh, I should have had Faye heal Silk, so Silk could heal Faye and get the EXP. Oh well. Clive should be strong enough to deal with these Cavaliers pretty easily, assuming he eventually hits. Because again, this is Echoes, and hit rates are not good. So, I think we can have Alm use the Lightning Sword here to get this kill, assuming he hits, of course. Oh cool, we did. Alright, so we still need to avoid Slayde, but we want to get as many of his Cavaliers and their other units dead as possible, just so that we've got as few enemies to worry about chasing us as we can when we eventually go to trap Desaix. Unfortunately, without having any snipers, we can't really do as much damage from a distance, but what we can do is we can just get everyone ready and have Clive and Alm over here lure out some of the Cavaliers to kill them. I think we'll actually keep Claire in this area for now. As a flyer, she's able to get from one section of the map to the other pretty quickly, so we don't really need to concern ourselves that much with her positioning, just because she's so mobile. And yeah, here comes another one of the Cavaliers. And of course Clive misses his first attack because, again, tile floors makes it half impossible to hit with your sword. Well, lance, but you know what I mean. Here, how much damage does Claire do here? Ooh, actually, she does pretty well. Let's go for it. Come on, Claire. Okay, now we just need to hit this other one, and this Cavalier is dead. Nope, we missed. I don't dare turn wheel that, though, because, frankly, we might need it if trying to lure Desaix goes poorly. So we'll just have Alm get the kill. Oh, come on! Fine. Clive will do it. Hang on. I have to make very certain he doesn't lure Desaix by accident. Come on, Clive. There we go. That took too long. Jeez, it's like you're constantly playing with Arthur as all of your units. Like, Arthur's whole thing was that his luck stat is really, really bad. Back in Fates, by the way. As far as I'm aware, there's no character in Echoes named Arthur. I might just not know. Like, maybe it's someone's Japanese name or something that I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, this is only a Fire Emblem Fates thing. But in Fire Emblem Fates, Arthur's whole thing was that his luck was really, really bad, but his other stats were decent. But the problem is, even though he was decent overall, his hit rate was so bad that I always found him too unreliable to use. So I always ended up benching him pretty much, just because I don't like trusting low hit rates. And of course, in this game, you don't get that choice. Because everyone has those bad hit rates. Alright, so it looks like Gray as a soldier is actually doing really, really well. I wasn't honestly expecting him to do this well, just because I don't really like the soldier class that much. I just find that it's I just find that their low speed is not great, and especially with Forsyth, I just hate how low his accuracy is. Forsyth and Python are decent in that they do some nice damage, but at the same time their hit rates are very bad, just because they generally emphasize damage over accuracy, and as a result it becomes a bit difficult for them to be reliable.
You're too kind.
Alright, so if we're lucky we'll be able to find enough things for Silk to heal here that she'll be able to pick up Warp. I hope she picks it up at level 5, but I'm thinking it's actually level 6. I don't have like all the spell lists memorized for all the different units, so I'm going off of just rough memory on when she learned it last time, and I remember it being pretty early in the game. Like, I had picked up Warp pretty quickly actually, but I haven't used Silk as much through this run. Alright, so now we basically need to make very certain we're not entering the danger area with anyone. We need to basically draw out the other Cavaliers. Now, I guess you don't really need to do this. You can get by with this strategy with these Cavaliers still alive and just take them out later, but I find it easier to kill off all the other Cavaliers so you don't have as much to worry about. Oh, Clive got a crit after avoiding an attack. I swear this game's RNG is so weird. Like, sometimes you'll miss attacks that you would have sworn would hit, and then other times you'll get random crits at low percent chances. Then the next round, exactly that will happen. You'll completely miss your attacks. Alright, now this is actually a slight problem because we don't have that many units able to move into a position to fight. Just because we need to be very careful not to lure out Slayde if we are trying to get the dracoshield here. And so if we draw out Slayde, we've basically messed up the strategy, and we'll either need to turn wheel or just give up on getting the dracoshield. Alright, I don't know how much this Cavalier's movement is, but I'm not really that surprised that moving Faye out of the way just opened up more area. But with Claire there, she should be able to take a hit, I'm thinking. And I'm guessing we can do at least one of these 2 hits with Clive. So there's 1 hit. Oh, we actually hit both. That's a surprise. And now he's going to run off and get healed. This is a time I wish I had a sniper so that I'd be able to hit this guy without going in range. Alright, well I guess in the meantime we'll just have everyone continue moving this way. We'll mark this Cavalier just to be safe. Okay, that doesn't really help me at all. Yeah, so how about this Arcanist? Where can he attack? Oof, pretty much everywhere actually. But I'm guessing he'll prioritize healing again. Or healing the enemy again, that is. I should have known that would happen. That's fine. So Silk we'll just use to keep everyone topped off, and then I guess... Oh, we actually can't. What to do here? I suppose this will work. Python's defense is what, 5 compared to 4 on Tobram? Yeah, I guess this will work. Not ideal because I'd prefer to avoid having Python get attacked, but whatever. Oh, and he's going after Lucas. I thought he would have healed. Alright, that's fine, though. Oh, maybe not fine. No, unless... Actually, no, he can't crit. Yeah, we'll be fine. And so now killing that Cavalier should be pretty easy. However, killing this Arcanist is a different story. I guess we'll just have to have Cliff use fire and hope for the best. We don't really get that many other options right now because Arcanists can be a bit tough to take out just because they can be bulky. I guess it really depends which Arcanist you're fighting. Some of them are bulkier than others. This one's got 5 defense, 8 resistance, which means he's not going to take pretty much any magic damage, but at the same time, he's not frail when it comes to physical attacks. So it's still a problem for us. Here, then we'll have... actually, we don't want to be standing there when we do that. Here, how does... That's not even worth trying. Oh, we can't go to... Oh, I'm a moron. We have Alm. We'll just use the lightning sword. However, because of his high resistance, he doesn't take that much damage from this, but it should soften him up considerably. Ooh, and we got Thunderclap. That's the one that increases our range, which is going to be pretty useful. Now, I think... Oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, that I should really turn away. That was not what I meant to attack. I meant to attack the Arcanist, so yeah, I am going to turn wheel that one. Just because I don't want this Arcanist running around in the middle of our units, and I also don't want him to be able to heal.
He's got nothing on me.
Okay, so with that, the Arcanist is dead. Some of our units are pretty beat up, so we're going to want to take care of that. Let's see. I guess we'll have Python try to get this kill, but when, not if, when he doesn't. Oh, I'm actually completely wrong. I did not expect to get that hit. Alright, we'll have Silk heal Lucas then, because though Lucas's defense isn't stellar, it's still good, and with the leather shield, he's a unit we can rely on to try to tank Desaix. And then we'll just move around our other units, and actually I should probably... What am I doing? Whatever. That wasn't what I meant to do at all, but it'll work. And then besides that, we'll just get Claire out of the way for now, because she's actually a bit of a liability. And then we'll just get ready. Okay, so...
I've got this.
Alm's movement range. With Alm's movement, if we were to swap someone into this space, like if we were to use Lucas, swap Alm, we should be able to get that and get him where we need to be. But first, let's take a moment to heal off. We don't want to be rushing in on low health here. So let's have Faye and Silk top each other off a bit, just because we want to make sure that they've got plenty of health to be healing.
Better at reading the enemy.
Because we are going to need a lot of healing here. Alright, we can have Alm go down here, that's not significant. Swap will work regardless of where the starting position is. And then we just need to get our 10 cure units ready, and I think next turn we'll be ready to go. Here, actually, I will move Cliff up. Actually, no, I didn't mess it up. I thought for a second that I had messed it up and made it so I couldn't swap Alm where I needed him to be. But we're fine.
I feel the light of Milla's blessing.
Nope, okay, so I guess Warp is a level 6 spell for Silk then. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't have the spell list memorized. So, Alm is about to throw himself into a fair bit of danger, so we basically need Alm to survive this, because obviously as the protagonist, if he doesn't survive this, we lose. But what we need to do is draw out Desaix, like we're about to. But we need to make sure Slayde can't kill us first. And then besides that, I guess we want our other units ready to go, because we are going to need them to help cut down the rest of the enemies as we work to avoid Desaix while still... avoid Slayde while still luring Desaix. Alright, so this archer might do a bit of damage to us. Just 1 point, though, wouldn't really matter. This archer might also do 1 point of damage, but we'll probably get killed. Actually, not probably, I shouldn't say probably, because our accuracy is bad, like that. So unfortunate that we couldn't get that kill there, but we can't really afford to sit around here either, because a glance at this bottom screen shows that we don't really trade favorably with Desaix. Want to test that, Desaix? Because my entire purpose in my strategy for this is to prove that you're not invincible and kill you. Well, not exactly kill you. The game does some weird things with its plot. Alright, so now we are going to want to make sure Slayde's range is marked again, but first we need to make sure we move where Desaix can attack us. So Desaix has a move of 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. He can attack here, which means we need Alm to be there.
I can do this.
So we'll move Alm down. Again, this is just so that we're positioning like this specifically so that Desaix can come and attack us while not, Slayde is being blocked. Now, I think we're going to want to open up a section here in our units to sort of protect ourselves. Like, we want to eventually get Desaix against one of these walls. Here, we'll actually just shift some of our units back a bit and call this good. So I'm a bit worried that one of these archers is going to shoot Faye, but it should... or not Faye, Silk, but it should be fine. Silk's defenses aren't great, though, so... Yeah, as you can see from from the damage Alm is taking here, it's not a good thing to be getting attacked by Desaix, and that was not a very good level up for what we could have potentially gotten. A point of defense would have been ideal, really. Because if we had gotten a point of defense, we'd be able to tank Desaix even better, and then we would have less to worry about. Oh cool, we managed to get that archer to not rush us because we wounded it enough that its AI switched to healing. But now is the harder part. Now we need to shift back in such a way that we don't get killed. Oh, and I think I've messed up already. Actually, not quite. Alright, so we need to make sure Alm has at least 15 health at the start of each turn. Because Desaix deals 14 damage, or at the start of each enemy phase, I should say. Because Desaix deals 15 damage, or 14 damage to him with each of his attacks. So as a result, we need to be careful and play in such a way that Alm stays healthy enough to survive all this. Okay, this archer is going to continue coming at us, which is not good, but I don't really have the ability to send someone to go kill him right now, because were we to do so, Desaix would kill us. Tobin might actually have slightly enough range. Here, Tobin's range is what? 3 + 1, 4? So from like here, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he would still need to be closer. Yeah, no, we can't. But what we can do is we can get our more frail units out of the way. And we've got provisions, so we also have another way to heal. Alright, so yeah, this archer is coming down and shooting at Silk, kind of what I expected him, or an archer, to do last turn. And then Desaix does not attack the one I would like him to. I wanted him to go for Alm there. Alright.
I've got this.
So, here we need to kill this archer so that he stops shooting us. Oh my god, seriously? I hate this game's RNG. Alright, so Tobin should hopefully be able to... Yeah, sure. So Alm misses and is unable to get the kill because he missed an attack. But then on a 12% chance, Tobin is able to get the kill. I have no words to describe this game's RNG. Alright, so that's the thing that happens. Now, what we need to do is get Desaix out of Slayde's range.
I will take care of this.
Oh dear. Silk took a fair bit of damage from that. But for now, what we need to do is just top off Alm here. And then we can't really do anything with Tobin being there, but next turn we'll want to make sure we heal Silk so that she doesn't die. And beyond that, we just need to wait it out and let Desaix hopefully attack someone against a wall. This is annoying. He's not attacking who I need him to attack from where I need him to attack. This is annoying. We need to be able to pin him, and right now he does not want to be pinned. Here, let's put Gray in the danger area. That might do it. Here, let's use Lucas to swap in Gray. And then we can actually trade with Lucas to get the shield to make Gray stand a better chance. And I feel like I might have actually just messed up my own situation here. Nope, that's not where I want to be. Okay, so I guess now we just start beating him up. It's a bit at the mercy of the RNG as to how much damage we can deal. Best case scenario, we'll get a ton of crits and be able to kill him super quickly, but that's not really that's not likely to happen. And of course, I don't want him to get super low on health yet, because I don't want his AI switching over to heal, at which point he would run, and I would have to try to lure him out again. Okay. You know, I'm thinking I messed up by giving Gray that shield. So here, let's do this for a moment. Let's trade the shield over to Clive, so that Clive's defense is better. And that makes Gray the enemy who would take... Or, that makes Gray the unit of ours that would take the most damage from Desaix. And so by healing Clive here, and now that he's got that shield, he should be able to survive... or the AI should hopefully switch over to attacking Gray. And once he does, he'll be up against the wall, and we can deal with him much more easily. Because the key to this is limiting his movement options, and then just continuously attacking him until he eventually dies. And by eventually, I mean in many, many, many turns from now dies. But this is good. This is who I wanted him to attack. However, Gray takes a lot of damage from that, so we're going to need to be careful here.
What was that?
Yeah, I would have really preferred to see some defense growth there, friend. Okay.
Allow me.
So, right now, we just need to make sure that Desaix has no options. So by doing this, we can limit who he attacks. And I think at this point, his AI will default to attacking Lucas, probably. Because Lucas here has 6 defense, compared to everyone else's defense around him, it's lower. Now we are going to want to trade over, we're going to want to trade the shield over to Lucas to make him stand a better chance. However, none of our units right next to Desaix really need really need healing, so we can have Silk pitch in some damage here. The nice thing about Nosferatu in this situation is it helps us get back the health we lose when we're using Recover. And then our magic is another good way to attack Desaix because it makes it so we don't need to worry about the bad terrain. And then of course there's our archers who, even though they don't really have that great a situation against Desaix, they don't really do any significant damage to him. It's still some free chip damage from a range that he can't retaliate. Provided we eventually hit. Come on, Python, pitch in better. That's only half joking. Frankly, Python, as I've said, unreliable. Okay, now, the one thing we've got working for us here is, as long as we do 5 damage to him on our turn, he'll continue to gradually lose more and more health. Because he'll keep attacking us on his turn, regardless of what happens. So now, we go trade, we take the shield from Silk, and we don't attack, because that would end very badly. See, we don't want these units next to Desaix to attack, because that will make them take a ton of damage, and if they take too much damage, we're in trouble. So, we basically just need to whittle down Desaix using all our ranged attacks, which should take an eternity. Perhaps I'll accelerate this part of the video, because it pretty much, at this point, now we've successfully gotten Desaix off in the corner, we're not aggroing Slayde, all we need to do is beat him up. I know what I can do. I can get Gray out of the way so I can have Silk use Nosferatu. Alright, and then we'll have Tobin pitch in. Oh my god. I really hate this game's RNG. But we got the curved shot art, which is pretty useful, just because it helps us, excuse me, it gives us increased hit rate, and I don't think it gives us extra accuracy. I mean, it does give us extra accuracy. It doesn't give us extra range, but it gives us a bit of extra power, too. So, if we need a more reliable shot, curved shot is ideal, although it doesn't allow us to double them. Yep, now he'll go after Clive, because Clive is now the one who takes the most damage. Okay, so he takes 14 damage from Desaix, which means we need Clive to be at 15 or greater health at the start of each enemy phase. Now, the nice thing about this is we've got both our healers right next to Clive, and they managed to heal him not for quite enough to completely negate the damage Desaix does, if we only use one of them, but they heal him for enough that we can afford to still use Nosferatu a few turns. And we got a crit there, which is good, because that's pretty much the only way Desaix dies anywhere near quickly. Let's see, we do still double with Thunder, but that cuts down our HP faster, it doesn't give us extra crit, and lowers our hit rate, so we'll just use Fire. It's pretty much a waiting game. We've just got to gradually do enough tiny chips of damage for him to die. Come on, Python, hit the other. Nice, nice. So we are doing pretty well. We're getting him to lose a fair bit of health each turn. And that's what this is about. I know I've said it a lot, but honestly, there aren't really that many other things to say when you're basically just attacking the same guy who's in a corner the entire time. Now, Desaix heals from the dracoshield, which negates some of the damage he took. However, then we're able to get the free counterattacks, which, of course, we miss one of them because Clive's... because of the... I can't think of words. Because of just the way the game's RNG works. Let's see, we go up to 22 there, we go up to 20 there. Alright, so Faye is the one who heals for the most, and thus is the one who should be using Recover on Clive. Just so... Oh, actually, I think that was a heal for 14 damage, which in that case makes it so we can continue attacking with one of our healers at all points and not need to double heal at any point. So Silk's crit there was pretty useful because on a crit you deal triple damage, even though it's still just 3. It's very useful because that 3 damage, in addition to the one that we hit before that, effectively makes it so we had 2 attackers both hit both of their attacks in the same unit's action. And so that's basically what makes this not take an eternity, is the game's crits. Here, we'll get Tobin a bit closer to his friends to get some support bonuses, even though it doesn't really matter that much, but hey, an increased chance to crit is always good here. And then that's pretty much it. Now, once we eventually kill Desaix, we won't need to worry about Slayde's range anymore because he'll retreat. So that's very good. That means we don't have to fight a second boss this chapter. Or, not chapter, battle, I should say. Alright, so let's... Nope, not Black Magic. Let's use Recover on Clive. Yeah, heals for 14. So we can have Silk continue to attack as long as Faye stays healthy, which is another attacker we can use. And again, we only need to do 5 damage to him on our turn to negate the damage he takes. And then any extra damage we do is bonus, and then he takes some damage when he gets hit, or if he gets hit by any counterattacks from our units when he attacks us on his face. And Python is actually hitting, although to be fair, it's a giant guy in super heavy armor with a giant shield, so, you know, it's not really that difficult to target. But of course, Cliff still finds, Tobin still finds a way to miss one of his shots in that situation. That's just the game's RNG. Alright, so Clive will take another hit for 14, but because Silk is able to keep him perpetually at 8 health at the start of our turns, that's fine. So then we'll go Recover again, just healing him up for all the damage he just took, which is all we really need. We don't need Clive to be at full health, we just need him to not die. As a result, we're able to use Silk as an attacker here, which makes it easier on us. The more sources of damage we have against Desaix, the better. Which means if we're able to use one of our healers as such, we just get quite a benefit. Ooh, and a level.
Whoa! I feel light as a feather.
Okay. Now, once he gets low enough, we can use, ooh, a crit. Once he gets low enough, we can use our other units that are next to him to attack, but we don't want to do that until we're certain he will die. Because if we do that before he's about to die, then, Desaix will be able to do a ton of damage to us in his counterattacks, and then we're in trouble.
I'll not be
trifled with.
How did that miss? Like, that animation, just from what I saw, looked as though the lance just went through his side or something like that. Alright, so we're slowly but surely killing Desaix here. And actually, because he missed Clive there, we can have Faye attack instead of heal, which gives us another source of damage to kill him faster. Nice. A good 4 damage compared to this guy, which is only like less than 10% of this guy's max health. Kind of depressing, but whatever. So yeah, we should be able to kill him in the next couple turns. Provided our archers hit. Which is pretty much guaranteed not to reliably happen. Okay, we at least hit with one of our other archers, and we've definitely gotten him lower than he was at the start of the turn, which is all we need. Alright, so he's back to 14 health. However, we need to heal Clive at this point, otherwise he'll die. So we'll have Faye use Recover. She got most of her health that she had lost using Recover back on that crit from Nosferatu. And so we're able to then not worry about her health bar. Ooh, and Silk gets a crit. If we can get another crit or two this turn, we might be able to kill him this turn. But that's unlikely, I think. Especially since our archers can only hit one of every 2 shots. Alright. Down to 7 health. If we can somehow get a double crit here, we're golden. But that won't happen. Yeah, no. But he's down to 5. Nope, not that. Oh, right, because Thunderclap makes it so he has to be at a larger range. Nope, only does a tiny bit of damage. Alright, so we'll just... That's fine, that's fine. We'll just let Desaix... we'll keep doing what we're doing, basically. And so that miss was actually perfectly timed, because now we can just dogpile this guy and kill him. We can have Faye attack. Her crit rate is actually pretty good for some reason. Although, of course, it doesn't matter. We can have Silk pitch in. Again, getting screwed by the RNG. And then we can just have everyone else go in as well. 5-4. Come on, guys. We just need a couple more hits here. 3-2. Alright. It's up to Tobin right now. If he can hit both attacks, he gets this kill. Otherwise, I'll probably give it to Alm. And that's it.
No.
I'm actually kind of surprised Tobin hit both those shots.
No. Wait. You have the wrong...
Yep, and so because he was a Baron, which is a 3rd tier class, for those of you who have only played Awakening and Fates, you won't really have any reason to know what that is. It's basically dividing the classes up amongst more tiers.
Don't think you can gloat yet. You thought you defeated Desaix? Ha! That was just a double. The true Chancellor has retreated to his fortress. And now it's my turn. I've no intention of dying here with you maggots.
Yeah, we've got to wait to be able to kill you much, much later in the game. But in any case, now that we've got the dracoshield, this becomes substantially easier. Because we can go Convoy, give just Lucas for now. Actually, can we give Gray that shield? Yeah, let's do that instead. We could give Gray the dracoshield, and now he's able to tank everything while still healing at the end of each turn. Then we can have Clive come back up here. We can go Convoy. We can grab out his Steel Lance again. Have him wait. And unfortunately, all of our healers have acted. That probably wasn't very smart on my part. But it doesn't really matter, because now look at how Gray is able to tank this. Well, first off, the guy missed anyway, but he only takes 1 damage now from any attacks. And of course he heals. So we can now have Gray just tank half the units in this area now. Eventually, he'll be able to promote to a knight, and that might even be by the end of this chapter. Fight, but probably not. But that would be beneficial, because then it allows us to have a higher defense on Cliff, or on Gray, not Cliff. Sorry, which would make him an even more effective tank. And so at the moment, we'll just heal up Cliff here a bit, because he spent a lot of HP trying to kill Desaix. We'll have Alm try to get this kill here. It should be pretty easy, yep, like that. And now, because Slayde retreated, the only two remaining enemies are the archer that ran away like a coward earlier this map, and the knight that's been sitting there the whole time, just watching as his general got killed. Well, his general double, because the game pulls the whole, oh, but it was just a double, and now you've got to go chase him down again. But that's for Act 3. Next up is actually Act 2, which cuts over to Celica. Oops. That wasn't anything substantial. Anyway. So from here, we just head in, basically. We'll have Gray go in to lure out the enemies, because he's super, super tanky right now. We'll have Faye and Silk just patch up anyone who's still wounded. Which is like half our units, but that's not the point. Or like, at least half of them have lost a bit of health, either by leveling up or taking some damage. Well, actually, that's completely wrong. Never mind. Ignore everything I've said. Yeah, so then from there, we just wait until the enemy comes and attacks us. And at that point, it'll be pretty easy to pick them off. So yeah, the dracoshield is now ours, at least on this route. Celica's route, it's substantially harder, in my opinion, to get the dracoshield. Like, I didn't successfully get the dracoshield on Celica's route when I was first playing through. I didn't feel like restarting that fight, just because it was a bit of an annoying one. We will eventually get to that fight. It'll just be a while, because the fight where you can get the dracoshield in Celica's route is not until Act 4, and it's not an easy fight at all. Basically, it throws a bunch of stupidity at you that will later pop up in the boss fight, but not quite as merciful. The final boss of this game is really, really difficult from my experience, so we'll have that to deal with later. But for now, that was the last fight of Act 1. And Clive is now able to get access to the Paladin promotion. Now, I can deal with those in a little while, because I don't think it'll give me the opportunity to promote right now.
Too narrow a victory.
But what I'm going to do for the classes is, instead of making it levels, which can be a bit tough to come by in this game, I'm going to use the RNG website I've got that I used in the first part of this playthrough. And so, whatever that number spits out, I'll probably just do 1 through 6 or something. That'll be how many fights I have to have that unit in on, like, the overworld, not in a dungeon, because that would be way too easy. That's how many fights on the overworld I need to have that unit participate in before I'm able to promote them.
Zofia Castle can finally return to the hands of her own people.
We really did it. We did it. We freed Zofia!
Not exactly. You still have...
And thank me for securing
oh yeah, there's this awkward bit.
A jest only, I assure you. You are wonderful, Ohm. This victory proves you have what it takes to lead us.
This victory wasn't mine alone. I share this glory with all of you. Sure, but
well,
hold on a second before we start throwing roses around. Desaix and Slayde both got away, remember? Tobin, you sure know how to take a squat on someone's big moment. Forget who got away. There's still plenty of reason to celebrate.
Gray's correct. True, it is deeply regrettable those two snakes managed to elude us. But regardless, we have retaken the castle, the symbol of her kingdom.
Except for the fact that there's still most of
Indeed.
the northern sections of Zofia
I know
that
this
are
war will continue
inhabited by the
as
Regalian
long as the
Empire right now.
desires Zofia. But this victory is a
Not to mention the
chalice.
stupidly difficult
Right now,
fights.
we should drink
Well,
deep.
okay, I shouldn't say that.
Clive couldn't
They're actually
have
not
said
that bad
We fought
until
for this.
much later in the
We
game.
earned it.
But in Act 4 and 5, we've got some rougher
Enjoy it.
fights. Well,
So then,
okay, Act 4
shall
pretty
we go
much
inside?
takes us
Our friends in the
into
castle will be most
Rigel
eager to
and
get
the
their
end of
delivery.
Celica's path. But then Ulm has Act 5, and then they join for the final fight of Act 5.
Hey, wait!
And so that'll just be a whole mess we'll have to deal with. But I think it now lets us move around the world map again. Yep. So just before we end the episode here... Oh, no, I do not want to exit. Just before we end the episode, let's quickly go and pick up Forsyth, who I forgot to recruit at the start of this episode. Oops. So he'll start out a bit under-leveled, but to be fair, I wasn't really planning to use him that much anyway, and it'll still be pretty simple to get him the levels he needs.
Greetings, friend. I am Forsyth, Sir Clive's lieutenant. Together.
Okay, so now we have Forsyth, which I probably should have recruited much earlier. Here, let's actually... Oh no, I don't think it lets me check. Yeah, no, because Forsyth is not in the party of the dungeon, I can't check. That's kind of the annoying part of dungeons. Like, sure, in Fire Emblem or at least in Fire Emblem games I've played, and granted that's not many, you generally get a lot more units than you're able to use in any one fight. But it's still annoying to be limited to 10, and those 10 are the only ones that can benefit from anything you happen to find in the dungeon, unless it's items. So if you encounter a Sacred Spring, only the units you brought with you can potentially receive that spring. If you find a Milla idol, you have to have a unit you want to promote in your party in that dungeon in order to promote them. Stuff like that. And that's just kind of annoying in my opinion, even though, yes, I understand that that's what it is, but considering that dungeons can incorporate several fights and just a lot of exploration and potential items and EXP and whatnot, it's a bit annoying to be unable to share some of that with the rest of the party. Alright, but from there, that's pretty much it. So, I think I'm going to leave this episode off here. We can watch the cutscene at the end of Act 1 and jump into Act 2 next time. So, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, let me know what... God, I cannot talk. Let me know what you thought, let me know what other shenanigans you'd like to see me try. Let me know what your playstyle in Fire Emblem is. In this episode, I bashed on Forsyth and Python a fair bit, just because, as I've said several times, I find that their low hit rates makes them unreliable, and thus I prefer to use other units. Let me know what your opinion on stuff like that is. So, if you've played Fates, let me know what you think of units like Arthur, who can potentially be very good, but are a bit unreliable at times because of their low hit rate. Let me know just how those units fit into your playstyle and what you think of them. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day.